Welcome to another deep dive with us.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be looking at a case that's really got people talking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of blown up online.
Yeah.
We're seeing it everywhere. News articles, Reddit threads, you name it.
Definitely a lot of buzz.
Yeah, so it all centers around this guy, Luigi Mangione,
Right.
who has been charged with something pretty shocking.
Yeah. I mean,
Killing UnitedHealthcare CEO.
the big one,
Yeah.
the
thing is,
okay.
it's not so straightforward
Okay.
when you start looking into it.
Right.
His online activity kind of paints a different picture.
Okay. So what are we seeing online?
Well, his Reddit posts are really interesting.
Okay.
They reveal this whole struggle with chronic back pain.
Oh, wow.
And he's documented everything.
Like what kind of things?
Like, he talks about a surfing injury that made things worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then get this.
Okay.
He slipped on a piece of paper.
Wait, a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
That's all it took. It sounds strange.
Yeah.
But for anyone who's dealt with back pain,
Right.
they know even the smallest things can be excruciating.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
He described his symptoms, twitching leg muscles, numbness. Wow. Trouble even sitting.
That sounds awful.
It does sound really debilitating.
Yeah.
Really rough.
So the articles I read mentioned he had surgery for this
Right.
spinal fusion, I think.
Yeah. Did that help at all?
It seemed to at first.
Yeah.
His posts were positive.
Mm-hmm.
He even encouraged others to consider it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then he just went quiet,
Oh, no.
stopped talking to everyone.
Friends, family.
Yeah, totally disappeared.
So now we've got this guy
Right.
battling this chronic pain.
Yeah.
He vanishes,
Uh-huh.
and then he reappears,
Yeah.
charged with murder.
It's a wild story.
There's got to be more to this.
Oh, there's definitely more.
Okay.
His other Reddit posts give us some clues.
Okay, like what? They show us his interests.
Okay.
One-bag travel, gaming.
Interesting.
Even his background working on the Civilization games.
Wait, one-bag travel, what is that?
It's this whole philosophy of travel.
Okay.
You basically pack everything you need
Mm-hmm.
into a single backpack.
Just one bag.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Wow, that's pretty minimal.
It is.
So how does this connect to the case?
Well, the police photos of Mangione
Mm-hmm.
show him with a Peak Design backpack,
Okay.
and that's a brand that's really popular with the one-bag community on Reddit.
Huh, that's interesting.
It is.
So what's the overall reaction on Reddit?
Oh, it's all over the place.
Like, what are people saying?
Well, some people are making jokes.
Jokes about this?
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism for some.
I guess so.
There are jokes about Pokemon Go causing violence.
Uh-huh.
Some are making light of their own civilization conquests.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
It's a strange mix of humor and seriousness. So are people connecting the back pain to the crime at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of empathy for his struggles,
I can see that.
especially considering the state of healthcare these days.
Right.
Some people see him as a victim of the system.
A victim?
Yeah, like the system failed him.
In what way?
Like it didn't provide adequate care,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even pushed him to a breaking point.
Because of medical debt and things like that.
Exactly, that's a common thought.
Wow, this is heavy stuff.
It is.
It makes you wonder how many people are out there
Mm-hmm.
silently suffering.
Yeah,
What happens when someone reaches that point?
it's a crucial question.
It is.
And it raises concerns about our societal safety nets,
Right.
the need for mental health support.
Especially within a healthcare system that can feel so
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah, exactly.
So what about the gaming connection?
Right.
Is there anything to that?
Well, he was active in subreddits for things like Magfest,
Magfest.
the gaming festival,
Oh, okay.
and also Pokemon Go. And some users are worried that games are being scapegoated.
Oh, like they're saying the games caused this.
Yeah, especially violent games.
Well-
They're saying that's not fair.
We see that reaction a lot.
We do.
Blaming video games for violence.
Yeah.
But is that really a factor here?
It's hard to say for sure.
Right.
His gaming seems more like a hobby.
Okay.
A way to connect with others.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not a direct cause.
But it does make you wonder,
What's that?
how much can we really learn from someone's online activity?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
Is it a window into their soul
Yeah.
or just a carefully constructed persona?
Especially in a world where everything we do online leaves a trace.
Exactly.
So what else is Reddit talking about?
There's been a lot of discussion about social media's role in investigations. Some people are worried about privacy,
Right, that makes sense.
while others see it as a valuable tool for law enforcement.
Like, to understand a suspect.
Exactly.
It's definitely a double-edged sword.
It is.
Provides insights, but also raises concerns about surveillance and being judged based on what we do online.
Absolutely.
And in Mangione's case, his Reddit posts have become a big part of the story.
They have.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into his life and his struggles.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that there's always more than meets the eye.
There is.
In this case, it just highlights that.
It really does. You know, it's striking how much this story has really resonated with people online.
Yeah, it's definitely gone beyond just a crime story.
It has.
It feels like it sparked a larger conversation.
Right, about bigger issues.
What are people saying about the healthcare system specifically?
Well, there's a lot of anger, frustration, especially from those who've dealt with chronic pain and inadequate care.
It seems like Mangione's story has really hit a nerve.
Yes.
It's like it's exposed some serious flaws.
Yeah, definitely.
In a system that seems to put profit before patients.
I've seen that sentiment a lot.
Me too.
And it's understandable.
I've even seen comments comparing Mangione's actions to those of healthcare CEOs.
Interesting.
Some argue that both can inflict harm, just on different scales.
It's a thought-provoking comparison.
It is.
Of course, it doesn't justify violence.
No, not at all.
But it does raise questions,
About
accountability, ethics, you know, when a system leaves people feeling powerless.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not surprising to see those comparisons being made.
This case has definitely fueled a heated debate.
It has.
What other themes are you seeing come up?
One that keeps popping up is this idea of Mangione as a folk hero.
A folk hero. Seriously.
Yeah.
So they're celebrating what he did?
Not necessarily celebrating.
Okay.
But there's definitely some sympathy for his desperation.
Right.
Like he was pushed too far.
Yeah, I've seen those comments too.
It's like they see him as someone who finally snapped.
After being failed by the system?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a slippery slope.
It is.
Conflating personal struggles with violence.
It's dangerous territory.
Definitely.
And it's important to remember we only have part of the story right now.
Right. He's still a suspect.
We can't draw conclusions yet.
It's fascinating how this is all playing out so publicly.
On
Reddit especially.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how the platform itself is shaping the narrative.
Oh, absolutely.
And how it might even be impacting the investigation.
It's like a collective investigation happening in real time.
It is. It really is.
People are gathering information, sharing their interpretations, debating different theories.
It's kind of amazing to witness.
It is.
But I've also seen concerns about privacy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
People worried about judging someone based on their online activity.
Right.
Especially if it's taken out of context.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
We have to be cautious about bias, avoid misinterpretations.
Right.
It's easy to cherry pick information.
To fit a certain narrative.
Exactly.
It's a tough balance.
It is.
We want to understand what happened, but we also need to respect privacy.
And avoid harmful stereotypes.
Exactly.
This case really highlights the ethical considerations
of social media and investigations.
Yeah.
And how we access and interpret online activity.
It's a conversation we need to have.
Definitely. Especially as our lives become more and more digital.
It's only going to get more relevant.
That's for sure.
Cases like this force us to think about how we navigate this new reality.
What about Mangione's mental state?
Right?
There's a lot of talk on Reddit about a possible breakdown.
Yeah, it's a key aspect of this.
Are people connecting the chronic pain to mental health issues?
They are.
Like the pain might have made things worse mentally.
Exactly.
It makes sense, living with constant pain.
It does take a toll
Yeah.
on anyone's mental well-being.
Is there research to back that up?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, there's growing recognition in the medical community.
About the link between pain and mental health.
Yeah, things like depression and anxiety. Chronic pain can lead to feelings of hopelessness, isolation, even anger.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Pain fuels mental distress,
Right.
which then amplifies the pain.
Exactly.
It's a terrible situation.
And it highlights the need for a more holistic approach to healthcare.
One that addresses both the physical and mental aspects.
Yeah, but unfortunately our current system
Right.
doesn't always do that.
So, if he was suffering mentally, does that excuse what he did?
It's not about excusing his actions,
Okay.
but about understanding the full picture.
Right.
Mental illness can impair judgment, affect decision-making.
So he might not have been thinking clearly.
It's possible.
It's a complicated issue,
It is.
and we need to approach it carefully.
Absolutely.
It's a reminder that mental illness isn't a weakness or a character flaw,
It's a medical condition
Yeah.
that needs treatment and compassion.
just like any other illness.
Exactly.
This case has really shined a light on these hidden struggles that so many people face.
It has.
It feels like a wake-up call.
In a way, it is.
We need greater understanding and support
Yeah.
for those dealing with chronic pain and mental health challenges.
It's a powerful reminder
It is.
to look beyond the surface.
Right. Really listen to people's stories and work towards a more compassionate society.
Absolutely. For everyone.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
We've explored Luigi Mangione's story from every angle,
Yeah, his struggles, the public reaction.
the broader issues it raises,
It's been quite a journey.
and we're left with more questions than answers.
That's often the case with a deep dive, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's about exploring the unknown.
Challenging our assumptions,
Yeah,
expanding our understanding.
exactly.
So what are your initial thoughts?
What really stands out to me, it's interesting, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
so much speculation around Mangione's motives.
Yeah, everybody seems to have a theory,
I guess that's what happens when a
Right.
case grabs public attention like this.
especially online.
Oh, definitely.
It's like a breeding ground for theories.
Social media is a powerful force. And some of those theories are more grounded than others.
Yeah, I've seen some wild ones.
Me too.
Some folks are convinced it all comes down to medical debt. They say he was crippled by it.
Right, driven to desperation.
Rage.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
We've seen how financial strain, especially combined with chronic pain.
Right, and a feeling of being abandoned by the system
Exactly.
can push people to extremes.
It's a tragic situation,
It is.
and it's not something to be taken lightly.
I've also seen this idea of Mangione as a vigilante,
Oh, interesting.
like he was taking a stand.
Against the system.
Yeah.
It's a compelling narrative.
It is.
But it's important to remember,
Yeah.
we can't just assume his motivations
Right, we can't read his
based
mind.
on online posts and speculation.
We need to be careful about those assumptions.
Absolutely.
Jumping to conclusions without the full picture.
You need to see the evidence.
And there are people saying he was radicalized online.
Right.
Like extremist ideologies pushed him over the edge.
Yeah, that theory's out there too.
It plays into those fears about the internet,
It does.
that it can be a breeding ground for extremism.
And violence.
But can we really blame it all on online radicalization?
Without a proper investigation.
It seems too easy.
It does.
Like we're trying to force this complex situation into this pre-existing narrative.
Right. About the dangers of the internet.
This case really highlights the challenges of this digital age.
It does. The information overload.
It's so hard to separate truth from fiction.
It really is.
So what do we do?
Well, for one,
Okay.
we need to think critically.
Mm-hmm.
Be media literate.
Right. Question everything
Exactly.
and engage responsibly online.
Both individually and as a society.
It's on all of us.
It is.
This case also makes you think about social media's power
Yeah.
and its limitations
In shaping public opinion.
and even influencing justice. Mangione's online persona,
Right.
whether it was intentional or not,
It's part of the story now.
it's influencing how people see him.
Yeah. And it could potentially impact the legal process.
This is just such a multi-layered case.
It is so many different elements.
You've got the personal tragedy,
Right.
the crime itself,
The healthcare system.
the ethics of online behavior,
It's all connected.
the influence of the digital world on real life.
It's a lot to process.
It really is.
It's like a reflection of the complexities of our time.
We're trying to make sense of it all.
Yeah, trying to understand.
But it's not a simple story.
It's not.
There are no easy answers.
What stands out to you the most?
I think for me,
Yeah.
it's the importance of approaching this with empathy,
Yeah.
skepticism,
Right.
and a real commitment to finding the truth.
We need to understand the human story.
But also be critical of the narratives.
Especially those online narratives.
This deep dive has been a whirlwind.
It has.
We've really gone deep. Explored all these different angles.
Information, perspectives, emotions.
And like you said before,
Mm-hmm.
we're often left with more questions than answers.
But that's the nature of the deep dive.
It is.
It's about pushing the boundaries of our understanding,
Exploring the unknown.
challenging what we think we know.
Exactly.
So we hope this has sparked your curiosity,
Got you thinking.
giving you a new perspective.
On this case and the world around us.
That's what we're all about here.
What are your thoughts?
What questions are you left with?
We'd love to hear from you.
As for Luigi Mangione, his story isn't over.
No, it's far from it.
We'll be following closely to see what happens next.
Until next time,
Stay curious
stay informed.
and stay engaged.